All right, so I got the GoPro working, and I'll just put it on here, and then I'll give you guys a tour of my place. There we go. Hopefully you can see. Got the hat on here. Found my wife's hat, but it'll still keep me warm. All right, you can see it's a beautiful day. It's actually pretty warm. And this is what I would call my little piece of paradise. I'll kind of turn around slowly so you can see the whole thing. So, some space I can get up here and be by myself or with my family. So, my wife and I, with the help of my father and mother and mother-in-law and father-in-law, built this shed last summer. Bought the property 1 or 2 summers before, I can't remember, and I love it. So it's a day use only thing, you know. You got to make sure you're being a good neighbor and following the rules. So anything under a certain square footage can be used for the day, but not overnight, so that's fair. And so during the winter time, I just come up for the day, snowmobile, and go back down. And during the summertime, I'm allowed to bring my camper up here, and then we can camp out. So I'm a little bit of a redneck, like being out here. We put power in last year, which is great. My wife and I both need CPAP machines, so this allows us to be out in the country. There's my old sled, glad to have her. So here it is. Move this guy out so that way when I come back in with the sled, we are able to get in there without hitting it. It's like I knocked my coffee over, darn it. Things happen. Got an arrow in the way. The other one actually is faster, but I think the carburetors are plugged. They sat for like 15 years, but I got them for almost nothing. I got the set for 50 bucks, so you can't complain too much. And it does run. I had it running earlier this winter, but it plugged up. So I think either I'm going to try to get ambitious and fix it myself, or maybe take it down to my mechanic in the springtime. But I can't ride more than one at a time anyway, so this boat is my great-grandfather's boat. Then it was my grandfather's boat. They had it up at the cabin, and I'm lucky to have it. So you can see I've got a backup generator just in case the power goes out up here, and I'll be okay. So let me grab the keys. I keep the keys to the shed in the back of the snowmobile. But you can see it's just absolutely gorgeous up here. There we go. Alrighty. So there's my little warming shed. So when we get cold from being outside snowmobiling, or we get hot during the summer, we can come in here and hang out. So I've got, for Christmas, I got a little fireplace, which is great. My wife gave me that. And I got a second little space heater to get things going in here. And you can see I put some pictures up, just things that we do. Oh, I better put my flag out. This always makes me feel good, just seeing that flag go above the shed there. So the winds whip pretty hard up here. We actually learned the hard way this spring. We had the roof on, but we didn't have the two walls on either side in, and we had about an 80-mile-an-hour wind come in and fold it down. So I learned a lot about construction. And since then, we have probably tripled the amount of screws to help with the shear strength. And I took 8 4x4 posts from the suggestion from my father and sank them in 2 feet of concrete on all sides. And it's not going anywhere. It's been in probably 90-mile-an-hour winds now, and it doesn't even move. So this summer the plan is probably to finish up here, make it a little bit more comfortable. And when we come up here in the summer, we can stay in our camper. So this makes a nice place to play cards or just spend time with the family. You know, if mom's making dinner or I'm making dinner in the camper, the kids have a place to come and play. And then of course at night, the rule is that we have to be in the camper, which is fine. And we just want to make sure that we're being good neighbors, following the rules. But I like to come up here and just sit sometimes during the day. It's very relaxing. Reminds me of my grandparents' cabin quite a bit. I kind of modeled it off of theirs. Theirs is up in northern Idaho, a little bit further, not northern Idaho, but north of here, Idaho. So I always, as a kid, remembered the railing, and they had the lights kind of like my wife built here. So, you know, as you get older, you just kind of appreciate things that made you happy when you were young. And I grew up in the mountains. My mother and father built a house from scratch from bare land, and I just remember fishing in the creek and riding my motorcycle around, and I was very lucky. Didn't understand it at the time, but I was very lucky. So this is my getaway place. In the wintertime, I can use it to like a warming shed, and then in the summertime, I can come up here with the family and stay in the camper. So, okay. All right, so we're gonna see if we can get that to start. This stove was a gift from my parents too. I love waking up here in the morning and cooking something, you know, in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's just not practical. It's not safe to stay up here, but summertime with the camper, it's great. But I love snowmobiling too, so that's the season that we're in. So here we go. So this is 90-ish. Obviously you can see I gotta fix the hood. And I actually learned this trick watching some YouTube videos to get them started. Take the spark plugs out. And sometimes it takes a couple repetitions of doing this. And you put a little gas down there. I filled it up Friday, so we should have plenty of fuel to dink around on. It's interesting. Looks like my gas ate through the turkey baster there. So we put it, I might have to get a new one of those. Put this back down in here. A little bit of a process. And the road doesn't get cleared much past here, so kind of by myself, which is kind of nice. All right, let's hope for the best. Almost. All right, one more time. Sometimes you gotta do that a couple of times. So in the spring, I'll take you guys fishing. There's a couple local reservoirs here that are known for trout fishing. I've heard they may have introduced perch as well, so that'll be good. But we're probably well over a month of winter left here.